Oh, it's nice to be with you. It's nice to see you again. Welcome back. I sure missed you, my funny, fooly friends. That's right, sway those hands. Oh, it's nice to be with you. Would you be here with me now? Are you ready? We're gonna breathe a breath. So everyone take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Oh, and then we're gonna stretch a stretch. So take your arms and just go up in the air. Oh, out to the side. Very nice. Make sure you stretch your faces. Make a silly face to really stretch those faces out. Good silly faces, everyone. Do you have a silly face for us? It's about as silly as it gets. That's Father's for you. Smile. What wonderful smiles out there. Wave. Hello. And say howdy do. The grass is blue. The clouds are yellow balloons. The water's white, and instead of night, I see a purple moon. Shine a bright red light. Oh, the world you see is not the same as mine. We have different hearts, we have different minds, but what I know to be perfectly true is when you see me and I see you, will say howdy. Well, howdy. Howdy, howdy, how do you do? How do you do, everyone? Thank you. Please, please, please. I see everyone has chosen a very human way to show your applause. But I would like to challenge you for the rest of this set. Could you, would you, should you choose an animal? An animal that represents your inner soul. So, on the count of 3, we're all gonna, I liked that initiative. You're gonna pick your animal. I see you got a coyote over there. I'm gonna do a coyote right here. You could be a sheep. It could go like meh, or a monkey. Whatever you want. But on the count of 3, we're all gonna cheer with animal noises. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, that was lame. I saw like 80% of you not make any noises as an animal. So, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Nice cat over there.
I can't even imagine Japan. It's hard enough here in Comparison City, where we architect brilliant structures of the future and line the walls inside with 5-year plans. Expectations are one thing, but the Japanese must appreciate how our postal service booms. The CCPS can't keep up with all our holiday cards. I mean, our kids are better than all right. Have you seen? The unfortunate part is sometimes people go postal from the pressure. I mean, it's a service we all use though, so what are you gonna do? We have a lot of she's, hems, theys, and Kim K's to look up to, and if you try hard enough, you can be someone too. The craziest part is everyone is happy, even if they're not. For instance, I feel inadequate refreshing my news feed. I feel stagnant rereading how I wrote 2 years ago. I feel weak ordering the pancakes instead of the granola. I feel guilty telling my folks it's going fine here. I feel ugly with my head pressed between Julia's perfect legs. I feel cowardice smiling along with everyone at work. I feel failure failing to find grace in the world around me. Yet somehow I'm happy too. Have you seen? You can check your mail or your screen. I might even be doing better than you. No one here thinks about Japan.
Betty Bubblegum amuses herself, making faces in the window of an empty uptown bus, blowing blue bubbles as big as her head, blowing so hard her face turns red till pop! The gloopy gumball splays across her dimpled chin. She giggles, then quickly pops the gum back in. She's good at making time pass. She's precocious, well-mannered, knows practical matters like tap dance and cribbage and putting one's foot in one's mouth. She can entertain herself for days. Alone, she gets to play her way. But she misses her friends and her dad and her mum. She's almost as blue as her gum.
Grandma collected wigs. She lost her hair and her teeth fairly young. Things were different then. Her husbands loved her hair and her smile, then she lost them. Then a fire and a birth and 2 deaths, and one day she didn't seem to care. She sold the wigs and kept her hairs, the last 100 or so. She carried on like that. Counted, combed, parted, and primped the last few strands twice a day. Even had her daughter do it when her daughter was gray. Then 100 became 70, and 70 became 43, and 43 became a dozen, and Grandma turned 80. Today, Grandma shaved her head, grinning a toothless, cheesing grin. Things are different now. Hair isn't beauty anymore. She loves that it doesn't matter how much is left.
You've got a lot of light in your eyes. You've got a lot of love in your heart. You've got a lot of ideas swimming round the rivers between your ears. There's a lot you've got to give. You can give the light in your eyes to a passerby with a storm cloud over their head. Give the love in your heart to an empty cart and fill it up with bread. Give the ideas between your ears to build a bridge across the river ahead, so that passerby can get by after you've left. You've got a lot of light in your eyes. You've got a lot of love in your heart. You've got a lot of ideas swimming round the rivers between your ears. There's a lot you've got to give. Alright, we're all gonna sing together. Are you ready? It's very easy. You've got a lot of light in your eyes. You've got a lot of light in your eyes. You got a lot of love in your heart. You've got a lot of love in your heart. You've got a lot of ideas swimming around the rivers between your ears. You've got a lot of ideas swimming around the rivers between your ears. There's a lot you've got to give. Oh, there's a lot you've got to give. Oh yes, there's a lot you've got to. All you animals out there, thank you for coming and spending time with us. I'm Tepper, Saffron. This is my show, not your show. You're here to serve me. I'm sorry about that. He's always trying to upstage me. I'm Tepper Saffron. That's Nicola Saffron over there. That's Nolan Blair over there. We're here representing our galleries, which is really, we just picked that company because it's a front so that we could have this poetry show. But it is a real company. It is. It's a company that me and my friend are starting that basically we're offering low-cost platforms for visual artists to sell their work. Not these Saatchi websites that charge you 30% commission or these art finders that basically have ridiculous standards. This is a place where everyone is welcome to put their work up and not spend $30 on a Squarespace commerce site. So, if you want to find more about ourgalleries.com, it's up soon. You'll see a landing page first. You can talk to me afterwards. This is about art.
Thanks for sitting through that ad. I like to think that I grew out of my OCD, but maybe I never had it in the first place. Maybe I was just a weird kid. I liked counting things. I used to lie in the bath for hours at a time, counting bath tiles. My fingers and toes would shrivel up like apricots, and the water would be freezing by the time I got out. But I didn't mind. When I was a kid, I'd always have a song stuck in my head. And whatever song that was would dictate the pace at which I lived my life. Walking, chewing, blinking. A pattern for everything, and everything in patterns. I would chew my food to the beat of whatever song was stuck in my head that day. And when the verse ended, I had to swallow no matter what. Sometimes the food became mush. Other times I would wince in pain as hard chunks of unprocessed carrots slid down my throat. I never got the good parts, cleaning, organizing. I was a filthy little kid. I had a used chewing gum collection on my bedpost, wore the same Save the Whales t-shirt every day for a month. My room was always a sty, but God help me if I left it without turning on and off the light switch 6 times. Not because 6 was a special number for me, but because at that specific moment, I had to sing an entire chorus of "She loves me, yeah, yeah, yeah," before I could leave the room. Sometimes I'll catch myself giving into the comfort of counting patterns. At the movies, eating 3 kernels of popcorn to every Skittle, wearing jewelry exclusively in odd numbers, driving down the Victoria Bridge at the perfect speed in order to make the grates hum in the key of G.
I'm an actor, as in I paid the price of a new BMW to learn to be vulnerable type of actor, but I don't book. I don't nail the audition. Clammy hands fail to open doors, and fallen words keep me out of big buildings. I am talented, though. That much is true. If only casting agents could see me in my element, like right now, in this CVS parking lot telling you that I love you.
A vandal and his vandal hit the road for fresher air. Never in Amish country was there such a colorful pair. They dance and laugh and headbang as the radio blares, "Here comes your man." Hedonists in love, reverse Rumspringa. They wash their pits at Sunoco's and save their pits to compost. 2 freaks at the hottest tailgate party in town.
I loved you like I loved the snow when I lived in Texas, from afar, glistening white of God. Then I loved you up close and moved north where it snows. I can't leave my driveway, and it compacts into a wet black with my footprint.
What fuels a passionless pig with his hooves handling everyone else's jars? You know the type. They'll be upstairs swallowing a cig or wetting their snout in the trough of the local bar. And as his gluttonous, envious mouth steals the delights of his sins from his lips above to his curl down south, on his vices he will binge. Who will stop this swindling swine whose holy hedonism he's hankering to have? Not most average men you'll attempt to find, who too sins on feasts of the cowering calves. It won't take a donkey too stubborn to help, or a giraffe who won't risk his narrowed neck, but it may take a dog who'll let out a youth-filled yelp, or any old human who'll think for a sec. But please, don't expect anyone to be bothered. They've too much on their plate to be filled with new care. The pain of their hearts and their brains being soldered is far too scary. They'd rather stare at nothing.
Teach me how to dance with our hearts and our hips. like we used to. And if I'm old and gray and can't retain the steps, I hope you'll hold me anyway. And we'll just rock from right to left and hope our knees don't give out. But I guess they've always given out around you. And if by chance I forget who you are or who I am, I hope you put on Django or Bill Callahan and tell me the story of how we met. Every day, if you have to, until I can tell it as well as you can. And if I never can, I hope you lie beside me and pull me in real tight, so I know that only spoons that have nestled for lifetimes could fit so perfectly in their drawer.
My dog is sick. She shits on the floor, falls down the stairs. Her eyes swirl, innocent aftermath, gunpowder sleeping on a lake. She's 94 in dog years, that is. A couple years back, when Mamaw peeled her skin back for us to see the dementia underneath, my dad made me promise I'd take him behind the shed if he ever got half that bad. He's a proud man, but he won't even put down the family dog. As long as her tail wags, he justifies, I know she's there. Hopefully Dad can understand no matter how old we are, pride aside, I won't give up on him either.
Shy Peanut. Why, Peanut? Doesn't want to cry, Peanut. Scared, Peanut. Dared, Peanut. Fly into the air, Peanut. Pressured, Peanut. Lesser, Peanut. Lets his feelings fester, Peanut. Cracked, Peanut. Attacked, Peanut. Just a little snack, Peanut. Trusting, Peanut. Rusting, Peanut. Feels like life means nothing, Peanut.
I found a fool in Folsom who thinks that I'm a queen. He tucks me in and kisses me and wishes me sweetest dreams of comforters straight out of the dryer, French Polynesia and proper grammar and all the things I love that only he could know. Our minds tethered via tin can telephone, well adjusted to the timbre of our souls. They share the same mailing address, and the thousands of times we've played out our lives, as intertwined as our bodies in our sleeping bag for two.
I keep trying to write about you. It began with this idea, the realization I had that after watching a Terrence Malick movie, I storyboarded the love of my life. You were not Jessica Chastain, you were no one. A Rococo loop developed of sundress-clad bliss. She weaves cliché engulfed in knee-high roses. A look back, her imperfect smile conveys spontaneity. A silent laugh says everything I've ever wanted to hear. Walden sunlight masks the rest, a face presumably perfect, blanketed. My ski mask love, my silly putty love, my love, not ours. And then your love. Love which bent the loop, giving which takes my breath. Square-cut shoulders wasted on a sundress, orchids, not roses. Smiling that masks the sun. Individuality, too human for molds, a poetic uniqueness I cannot write. I keep trying. It ends with crumpled comparison, coy defeat on the subway floor. My useless words remind me you'll never be Courtney, because you make music much better than Hole. And you'll never be my Jackie O, because you would have fired back on the grassy knoll. I am yours, and you will never be my anything. Nothing but the one that leaves me speechless.
This is Refreshing Recipes. Shred her skin from her pulpy flesh. Slice her open, acid drenching her last breath. Add sugar and water. And if anyone else wants my grandma's recipe for lemonade, just find me after the show.
Dirty, dirty hippies let the chores pile up again. Why do today what you can do tomorrow? The little hypocrites have tickle trunks stuffed to the brim with toys. Everything brings us joy, Marie Kondo. They leave their mountainous errands for some forgotten Sunday, spending date night how they like it, with Tide and General Toe. Weighed down by quarters, wearing leopard print bathrobes, padding back and forth between the laundromat and home. Wrung out soap opera love, the rumble-tumble highs and lows, Captain Commando and Brawless Betty, forever trying to make last load.
Hey, thank you so much for hanging out, you guys. We appreciate it. You do a lot with your Saturday and listen to three weirdos, so we appreciate it a lot, all right? 12 days of winter remain. Each one swings wild. Frostbitten fighters desperate to steal the round. Nor'easter Quinn's gritty erraticism led one WLNY meteorologist to call it a quintessential nor'easter. I'm in it. Satyrs of lightning frolic drunken on the used car lots of Essex County. A man with a hair lip waits on the platform for the 649 Keystone to Harrisburg. Seconds before arrival, a snow cyclone blows him back home. My train keeps going. The very same 649 Keystone. No remorse, relentless through ice-encased strikes, headed to a farm town south of Penn Station, where the ground may be cold, but the sun hurts your eyes as it drops its arms over the valley. Last supper's a light every morning. I can't wait. It is March, after all, a summer month for my hometown. The paisley shirt a row ahead, the fat mama's kicking my seat. We all need a break from New York City. Without Rosie from the Bronx, none of us could leave. Rosetta, Rosie for short, wakes up at 5 a.m. Tuesdays through Fridays, 4:30 on Saturdays to catch the 2 train. Like the eco-dick cyclists of Williamsburg pedaling to work in a gas mask, making statements before their opening shifts at Mike's Bikes, Rosie trains to her job to work on another train. Vehicular careers going nowhere. She used to clip tickets. She used to have great forearms. Now she scans phones. She used to ask how our day was going. Now she asks if we can make it brighter. Expressionless eyes gloss in response. Rosie is accustomed to treating the headphonioed masses like the children they are. God help the generation of children sitting in the seat beside him. She keeps scanning, does her best not to judge. City to city, Rosie idles on the move. Lunchtime, the paoli stop. She eats a ramen-to-go cup, wanders past the steaming styrofoam. Small town America. Porches, yards, stop signs without spray paint. Silence. Settings which remind her of Charles Wysocki puzzles she pieces together at night, helping piece apart the day. If someone ever took the time to ask her what she wanted, she would tell them this. The father of her children slinging rock, her sons bred in a disenfranchised room, the passengers texting, none of us ask. Most of us moved to New York trying to answer that question for ourselves. Parasitic masses, eyes down, fantasizing of fame, bejeweling in line at H&M, folding pizza slices, unhappy. And what about Ronnie? What about Chris? Rosie's boys never asked for this shit. Their only chance of leaving Van Cortlandt Park is to shoot buckets or bang scholarship on an empty fifth. I know their dad better than they do. He stays in Little Dominica down my street, high in the heights, smoking more than he sells, Jumpman turned junkie. Arctic nights when the wind titters instead of tatters, sirens silence as paramedics witness their own futility. I can hear him, skeletal. Mierda! Fuck, it's cold! Voy a morir esta noche, mierda! Too tweaked to remember warm evenings heated by the reddest rose. That's why I go visit my uncle in Pennsylvania for a single night's sleep. Actualized train conductor dreams, noontime paoli quiet. Tomorrow I will awake to the sunny valley, The same one I think about when the burn busker without a face asks me for anything at all. When January's Iron Maiden winds envelop my underfed frame. When the Jets are down by 3 in the fourth and my drinking buddy asks me what projects I'm working on. When I drop my swell bottle shuffling past the endless food bank line. When the homeless man tells our train, any one of y'all motherfuckers could be me tomorrow. When wrists with $7,000 watches flick 20s at me. When my roommate calls the suicide hotline, knowing all too well how thin our walls are. When Jason Priestley is a dick to me because his appetizer didn't come out soon enough. When I see someone I went to school with on a billboard. When I tell myself I'm not even as talented as Jason Priestley. When smiling and nodding at the Dominican market, I realize how every Latino landscaper feels working in the neighborhood I grew up in. When I power walk past the dead body because I'm going to be late for work. When my mom feels far away. When gonorrhea dipped small cock doughboys think they have any goddamn right to pucker their chapped asshole lips at my queen of a girlfriend. When my writing is all I have, when it's my excuse not to leave the apartment for 3 days straight, when I personify my generation by moving to a dark-skinned neighborhood and deciding that their story is for me to tell, when I see Rosie and remember how lucky I am to have been able to leave the place I was born, when she asks me, can you make it brighter, I think she sees the sun in the valley too. Tomorrow, Nor'easter Quinn will be rotting on the tracks. No remorse. Relentless, Rosie will carry me back to the city that never sleeps. A city selling dreams where I can get mine and Rosie can leave hers. Brutal opportunity beckons us back to the banks of the Hudson. Separate, together. We will step off the train. Natives and transplants greeted as always by the 8 million man choir, bums, hipsters, actors, shot callers, and CFOs singing, if I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today, everybody. We're gonna be a part of it. Thank you all for stopping by with us today. We had so much fun hanging out with you. And as you ramble on through life, whatever be your goal, keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole. Maybe what we need is not what we know. I guess we try to guess to stay in control. The world's uncertain, certainly. Birds have feathers, trees have leaves, and we are free to live and let be. So until we meet again, I'll say adieu. It's been so nice to be with you. Stay open, be strong and wrong. Stay open, be loud and proud. 'Cause I will love you no matter what comes around, comes around. I will love you no matter what comes around.